Good morning, my garden friends. I wanted to do a little YouTube video here for you and just give you a really good suggestion, I think, anyway. And I'm going to come in a little closer because I want to make sure that you get to see all of these. And this is my Thanksgiving cactus. It's not a Christmas cactus, it's a Thanksgiving cactus. And it's just pieces that have fallen off over the years, and I've stuck them in, and so it's performed quite well. You can see I've gotten something from nothing, and it's just gone through all of its blooms. It was very pretty, and I'm actually thinking about just cutting it back and getting a little sturdier plant out of it, because some of them seem to be dragging a little bit. And that's the first thing. Sometimes you really need to sacrifice a few here and there to get a stronger plant. But that's not my tip. My tip is that anytime you're moving your plants around, especially when you've got things like any of the cactuses, any of the jade plants, things that are delicate. And although I have to say, I mean, most of my jades are pretty, you can take them and shake them and they won't come apart. But occasionally you'll get just a little leaf that comes off. And I wanted to show you one of the leaves. Let's see, can I see anything down in there? How about this guy? Oh, no, I'd be pulling out. I can feel I have roots there. And any of these little tops that have fallen off. But my tip is, take a pot. I'm sure everybody has an empty pot. And I'm guessing that you probably have some kind of soil, probably a potting soil or a starting soil or some type of soil. And make it up. It's empty. And you think, I should plant something in it. But wait. Eventually, something's going to drop off. And that's where you start your pot of the, what were they called? The unwanted toys or the broken toys or something. And that's kind of what I call it, is any of these little guys that fell off that most people would just, sweep up and throw away and say, oh, what's that going to ever be? Well, you can see this one fell off a few months ago, and it's not only come up with some nice little leaves, but look, you've got some little starts. And this one was probably more of a small plant at the time, but some of these little guys really, if I got here, let me show you in here. Any of these, look at those. They were just little tiny things, and now they're going to be a plant someday. And here's one that even it bloomed. I mean, goodness, I could add that back to the big pot, but the big pot's getting so overgrown that I think these guys need to have a pot of their own. Whether I separate them and make them a mono plant, only having jade in one side and having the Thanksgiving cactus in the other. But here's another little tip. And I did this before on a daily, but I don't think I did it for YouTube. This is just a milk jug. My husband drinks milk. I always call it real milk, but he drinks the milk in the house, and I drink cashew milk. I have an intestinal disorder, and real milk bothers me. So what I do, though, anytime he's finished with it and going to rinse it and throw it out for recycling, I always say, wait a minute, and I add just, a couple teaspoons of water back into it, shake the jug, and then I add it to my succulents. And by succulents or semi-tropicals, I mean either the cactus or the jade or any of the, like if Thanksgiving cactus, Christmas cactus, Easter cactus. I also add it to my plumeria. Now, these plumeria have all lost their leaves because even though this is Florida, we are in winter. And but I have several starts. I had a whole pot here. Here's another one. that anytime I had any plants, I wanted to go ahead and start them in here, and I started them all together. And later on, I will take this whole thing up and I'll tease those roots apart and make them all separate plants. And I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, somebody's going to get some presents. I'm sure I can find some friends or neighbors who would like it. But anyway, the plumeria seem to appreciate having a little bit of milk and water also. If you have ever grown donkey tail or burrow tail, both the same plant, I think, they like it also. So those are just my little tips for the morning, and I hope you'll try it. I think I did it on a daily, and I had several people who said, "Oh, gee, my grandma used to do that." Gee, thanks, appreciate that. So anyway, if I can bridge the gap between myself at 70 years old and somebody who's 50 or 40 or 30 or 20, and you're just starting out and you think, gee, I throw my milk away all the time. Even milk that is kind of iffy, you can, water it down if you're worried that it's going to smell, and give that to your plants. Don't throw out what you can use, whether it's just a little leaf or whether it's a few drops of milk or whatever. Garden what you've got and make it into something. I know you can. Thanks for coming to visit. I hope you'll come back and see me very soon. Until the next time, bye-bye.